What up, peeps?
What up, peeps?
Well, to the listeners, the viewers, everybody out there on Twitch, on wherever you're looking through us, at us, we have our boy here, Octavio. This is our guest for today. We're going to be talking about car topics, car community, life-wise, business-wise, things like that. Things you love to do, because this is obviously what he loves to do, and this is what I love to do. And let's get in it, bro.
Yes, sir. So
tell me.
I don't know. You know me a little bit, from just talking,
all the crazy nights.
Different crazy nights and stuff. But my passion just happens to be cars. Is what I got into at a young age. Hot Wheels and shit. Like that's one thing that's always been like on the top of my head for some reason. It makes me feel good, going driving, fixing up your car, seeing people fix up their cars, helping people out, And I'm not going to say like I'm some type of car genius just off the top. Yeah. But, I've been around long enough and in the scene long enough that I know, like my ins and outs and how to go about it,
That's what's up. What was your first car you had?
The first car that I ever really had was actually given to me. It was a Toyota Tacoma truck.
Oh, shit.
I was no lie, I was only like 12 or 13 years old. And
fuck. It was an old school Toyota?
It was like a 90 something. It was like a 96 or something, but it was just a little two-door, those little Toyota trucks like.
Oh shit.
And I was happy as fuck. I woke up for my birthday and my stepdad was like, yo, like, you gonna learn how to drive today? And I was like, what? And what? And he was like, oh, I just bought a truck for you today. And I was like, what? Say, I've always wanted to learn how to drive, But I never said anything because obviously I was only 12, 13. I didn't think nobody was gonna. Even before then, I wanted to drive. My mom, like, back in the day, like when I used to go to elementary school, she would make me start up the car in the mornings. Like, maybe I was probably like first grade, maybe even kindergarten, dude. Like, I could barely even remember this, but she would be like, hey, go warm up the car. Make sure the car's on neutral, like, because it was a stick car, Put the clutch in, start it up, make sure it's warm. And that was my routine for like years,
Yeah.
And like, it always interested me. Like, I would be in the driver's seat, like, damn, like, you could actually control this thing, like, like, what the heck? Like, there's pedals down there. Like, what's going on here? Like this big old machine. I was a little kid, and I would ask my mom questions like, what happens if you don't shift or this and that, and she would tell me, like, this is how you do it, But I was a little kid. I was obviously not gonna be driving, But when I did get my first truck, dude, like, they taught me out. I could barely see over the steering wheel, like, but I got it quick. I got it quick, and sure enough, I'd be like, Mom, can I take my friends up to their house? Stupid excuses, like, just to get out. And she'd be cool with it. Sometimes, like, I didn't think she would be, because she was, she was strict and stuff, and she'd be like, where you going? I'm like, I'm just gonna go drop them off at their house. And then she'll be like, it's good. And I'll be like, what? I'd run back to my friends and I'd be like, it's good, like, I got the truck. It's only like literally like half a block that I'm driving this thing. But shit, fucking 12, 13 years old, you're driving around just even half a block, dude. I was happy. But then we moved out, so we had to sell it.
Oh shit.
We moved out, we had to sell it, and I didn't have my car. Like, the next car that I have, it took me a while to get, because I had to buy that one,
Oh, yeah.
And, everybody's bought their first car, bro. Like, the thing with my first car that I bought, like, I was juiced because I used to walk, home from school, and I used to see this old-ass BMW just parked out every day. It was a black one, black on black. Damn. And I would walk by it, and I'd be like, man, this is nice-ass BMW. It's always sitting here and everything. And, like, it just caught my eye. And then one day, like, I'm walking by and I see somebody walk out the house, and I'm like, what's good? Like, how much you want with it? Like, how much you want for it and stuff. And the dude came out, he was like, you know what? Like, I'll give you a good price. He said $3,000 or something like that.
Oh shit, that's not okay.
But for me, $3,000 during that time, dude, I was fresh out of high school. Yeah. I was like, dude, $3,000 in my head. I was like, man, how the fuck am I gonna get that?
Yeah.
But eventually, working at McDonald's, dude. This is my first job. Getting my first car, dude.
Oh, damn.
I was like, fuck it, you know, like let me just strap up and try to save up. And sure enough, dude, it took me exactly 1 year, bro. It just like it took me a whole ass year, but the car was just sitting there for a whole year, and I knew it was kind of a junk. Like it was not a pristine car, dude. Like the paint was faded. Like I could tell it needed some work. It was not a perfect car, but I just wanted it really, really bad. Yeah. And eventually, I racked up the money. And I was juiced, dude, that day. I woke up, I was like, yeah, I got all the money, you know.
Yeah.
It's down the street from where I lived, and then I was like, I walked on, I knocked on the dude's door hella early in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Dude, I was juiced.
Yeah,
I was like, it was good. Like, I got the money, and then he was like, oh, for real? I was like, cool. Like, he got the keys and everything. He was like, you know, this is what it needs, but it's for the most part pretty good and everything. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I was hella juiced. Literally gave every cent to that dude. I was like, emptied out my pocket, my savings, everything. I was like, here, man, I just want this car. I'm driving this thing home, dude. I look down. That shit's on E, bro. I'm like, no, bro. Like, dude, I don't get paid in 2 weeks. Like, bro, I'm broke. Like, I can't even drive the car I just fucking bought. Like, I have to wait to get insurance now. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. But I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people's first car experience like that they bought was kind of like that, you know?
Yeah. Dude, like, sorry to cut you off. So my dad only took me around the block once because he got me an Audi one, and I didn't appreciate the Audi as much because I was like, oh, it's an Audi. I didn't know shit about cars. I didn't know nothing about maintenance. I didn't know nothing, bro. And, you know, he took me around the block once, and I started driving without a license with this fool. And I was just driving everywhere. And then one day I hit a speed bump hella hard. Like, wow! And my friend's like, hey, your car's leaking. Look under, bro, the oil pan.
Damn, you shattered it.
Yeah. So
what kind of car was it, too?
The Audi A4. Never forget that one. But
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. to that car, bro. And then after that, I got the Honda Prelude. I only like the dash. I like how it looked. Like, it gave me that Tron feeling. Everything was digital. That's kind of like the 240. Like, I saw a 240. One of the, I don't know what year it is. You could probably tell me, but it's digital.
It's a 300. It's probably it's probably like a 80 something, like a 84, 85 one.
Dude, it was ahead of his generation because that shit was. I saw a video of it and I was like, I love how everything's digital. And then when the guy would turn on his car, it'd go like a level up, and then just ready. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, the whole generation, like the whole 80s, a lot of those cars, they're like that. Like you walk in and like they don't have regular gauges. They're just fucking, you know, like pixelated ass numbers and shit.
But no, I feel you on that. Like that feeling, because the first car that I bought was the Thunderbird. Rest in peace to that Thunderbird. But that's the first car, and that's when I learned everything in that car: how to change the radiator, how to change the alternator, how to change the spark plug, how to change brakes and rotors. And I didn't get to do it, but one of my boys helped me. He did it for me. He did the ball, what's it called, those ball, fucking A.
The ball joints?
The ball joints. He fixed that for me because in front of my house, dude, I was turning, it just collapsed. And then my neighbor came out. He's like, "You're lucky this happened in front of your house and not on the freeway."
Yep. The same thing happened to my mom, dude.
No way.
Yeah, right in front of her job, and we were about to head on the freeway too, and the ball joint just
gave out.
And I told her, I was like, you know what, we're hella lucky. We weren't on the freeway or some shit. But
and that's what's crazy because you know the car has sensors to everything except for that.
Hell no car has sensors for that shit.
No car has sensors for
your sensor is your hearing and your feeling.
Yeah, literally. Because I remember I was like, damn, this thing keeps squeaking every time I turn. It's got to be my like alignment or something. That's what I said, or my suspension, and I just ignored it. Fuck that. People do not ignore
weird noises.
Yeah, your weird noises your car makes, alright? Lesson learned. Don't fucking ignore that shit. But, yeah, dude, like, fuck, that was a lesson learned. But
no, dude, I learned so many lessons. When I bought my BMW, that was like, I call it the lesson car, bro, no cap, because, so, it was old. It was like a 90. It was a 90, and it was an automatic. It was okay for the most part, you know, like it didn't give me too many problems, but it showed its age. Like a lot of the switches were kind of given out. Like a lot of the leather like was kind of given out. But I was lucky because I used to live right down the junkyard, and that's where I like literally anybody out there, bro. Like if you guys want to learn about cars or anything, like
pick and pull and shit,
just go to pick and pull, dude. Just go. Like that's like unlimited knowledge right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you're scared to break something on your car or anything, dude, just go there.
Yeah, practice.
Yep,
it's broken already.
Yep, and so my car, you know, used to be automatic. Like one day the transmission gave out, and I was like, I was young, bro. I was so motivated. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna make this into a manual car.
Yeah.
And I went to the junkyard. I pulled out a whole transmission and everything, the pedals, drive shaft, everything, dude. I was determined, dude. And I did it. I was like, it took me like a month to do it, but I was like, you know what? I have to replace this transmission anyways. You know, like if I'm gonna pay for all these parts, might as well just do a manual swap. Manual swap. You know, it's easy to say, but bro, oh my god,
it took a minute.
It took a minute, and you know, like to get it perfect, it's not like you just slap a few parts together and you're off.
Because the transmission is connected to obviously the engine.
Yeah, and then like the shifter linkage, like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, dude. Like, and that was literally like my first like big major car mod that I've ever done.
And you were like what, 20 when you did this, or 19?
I was like 18 or 19 when I did.
Fuck, bro. Jeez.
Yeah, because I only had the car for like maybe 8 months or 9 months before the transmission gave out.
That shit.
And dude, I used to beat on this car. I was young, you know, like I was floored, you know. It wasn't a fast car at all, but it could still burn rubber, you know. I was still having fun. And I remember I switched out the differential too, because I don't know if you know, but like some cars, they don't have posi, like so like one tire would spin, you know. And that's when I learned about that, because I didn't know. I thought a car was rear wheel drive, you know. That means, you know, you're good.
Yeah.
And I learned the hard way. I turn, I'm trying to get sideways, and I'm like, dude, what is going on here? And you know, I looked it up, and like, oh no, only some cars have it, whatever. So good thing I lived down the freaking street from Pick and Pull. I would go, dude, like almost every weekend or every other weekend, even on like they have like special days, like Memorial Day, like days where everything is super cheap, 50-60% off or some crazy shit like that.
Because they're trying to get rid of those cars.
Hell yeah, that anymore. Dude, and I was broke, so I was like, bro, the cheapest way I could find these parts, dude. And this is before, you know, OfferUp and any of that, you know, like was big. Like this is like back in the days where like you actually either it was like eBay, Craigslist, and then even for Craigslist it was kind of like iffy, but eventually I found a differential. I swapped that thing out. First day, I was like, cool, I finally got one. I started doing donuts and stuff, and then that's when I found out, like, damn, tires ain't cheap. Like it's just like like that's when you first start to learn about all this fucking crazy shit, and then you're like, you know what, this is not cheap. And like that was my only car, so it wasn't like I had a backup car or nothing like that. This was my daily, like this was taking me to work. And then eventually I blew up that engine, bro. Like eventually it just fucking popped, and I when that engine blew up, I had recently just bought my 240Z.
Oh shit.
And I was like, you know what? I can't have two project cars. I gotta get rid of one of these. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I parted out the BMW. I felt hella bad because I put a lot of work into it. You know, like I would go to Pick and Pull and change out all the little pieces of trim and everything. Like I was trying to make it look nice. Yeah. And I did make it look nice at one point. You know, like I was like, damn, like compared to how I got it to how it ended up. Yeah. But the engine blowing up, and then there was a bunch of little like electronic stuff that I really didn't want to deal with at the time, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get rid of this car, and I'm just gonna buy like a newer car, like something reliable that I know, and something that I'm not gonna be tempted to like modify. That's I bought a Volkswagen Passat, so I was like, something completely that I wouldn't really buy. But I was like, you know what? I need something that I could just go in, you know, put the AC and just be comfortable in and not worry about wanting to do this and that and this. And that's what got me through. I was like, all right, cool. Got rid of the BMW. get something fucking reliable.
Yeah, always.
Something you don't want to fuck with. Just you can drive.
Nothing. If your car costs less than $1,000, it's only gonna last you a couple months.
Yeah, most likely.
3 Gs, you're good for at least a year or two, or maybe more, depending on maintenance on it.
But and sure. I've been driving that Volkswagen for a long time, and it's never given me problems. Got rid of the BMW, and I just started going ham on the 240Z. Like literally, I was like, okay, I want to do this right. And that's when I started to learn my whole other shit about different type of cars, because German cars, really different than Japanese cars, really different than American cars. Like, it's a trip, man.
No, yeah, dude. Like I realized that the fucking hard. I had the most weird car I ever drove or had. There's a car, like you said, I learned the hard way, because I bought my dad's like, hey, there's a $900 car, and I was like, fuck it. I just need something to get me to places, and I said, fuck it, and it's a Saab, a 1991 Saab.
Damn, I would have been like, bro, no, just let it go. Just don't. Don't even look that way.
I took it, bro. I put tint, and I was like, to my friends, like, and then my friends were like, hey, this car's like cool. It has this cool little gadgets. The ignition.
The key was in the middle, dude.
Yeah, the key was in the middle. You can leave your car unlocked and cover that, and people are gonna be like, where the fuck, Or Robert's gonna be like, where the fuck do I? And then on top of that, I had a sunroof, power windows. So people were like, your car is trippy. It's a 91, but it looks like a fucking duck on the outside. And same thing, one day I was driving it, and then I just felt the transmission. And I'm just like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for this car. And then my dad sold it to somebody. I think one of the neighbors back here sold it for like $600-$700. But then him too, he I don't know what he did to it, but he drove it around for like a couple months, and then boom, probably just
came out. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of those Saabs at the junkyard.
Dude, yeah, those cars are a bitch, man. Because when I opened the hood, I remember when I looked at the hood, everything was backwards. Like the things that will be in the back of the engine were in the front of the engine, and then I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, yeah, this car's gonna give me a headache. Even when I went to the oil changes, they were like, dude, your oil change, that little screw that goes in, they're like, we don't have the right key for that, and we stripped your fucking thing.
Damn.
So they're like, you're gonna have to go to like a Saab distributor or something and get the right one. And I'm like, fuck. And that's when I was like, fuck this car.
Yeah, fuck that. No cap, like all if there's anything I learned from all this fucking going to pick and pull and everything, like if you want something easy to work on that you're gonna be working on yourself, Toyota, bro. Toyota. Like, I thank God for Toyota every day, bro. I'm like, damn, these dudes really. And I love Nissans too. Like, my heart is with Nissan every day of my life. Like, I'm gonna keep my Nissan. Yeah. And the generations, like Nissan didn't start to get bad until like late 2000s. Like, kind of when like the 350Z happened. Yeah. That's when I stopped fucking with Nissans. Yeah. Anything before that, I love it. 90s Nissan. Yeah. I actually recently, me and my little brother, like he found a 240SX. I don't know if you know about those cars.
No, yeah, we had a boy that had a car like that.
Okay, so that for me is like almost peak Nissan. Like they had everything right.
Yeah,
everything.
It's a drifting car.
It's an awesome car. Yeah, I love it. There's space. Yeah. It's just an awesome. It looks good. Yeah. Like
little lights. It looks like eyeballs.
Yeah, it's just I just love it. And he was lucky because those cars right now they're
5Gs and up.
Yeah. No matter he got it for like $1,100 or $1,200 or something from an old guy. Like shit. This was grandpa owned. Like this isn't like beaten up, teenager kid. This is the real deal, bro. There's only like 2 little rust patches. I'm like, dude, you got the Nissan that I got, the 240Z. That thing was a rust bucket. It still is a rust bucket. This is 1970, like that thing's almost older than my mom. That thing's got its own set of problems. But like he tells me, like, man, I want to. Right now he's sanding it down. He wants to paint it. like he's kind of like on the fence about selling it. Like he's like, man, I want to sell it and I want to get something else, but I'm like, I think once you paint it, you're gonna want to keep this thing, dude, because there's not a lot of cars like they don't make them like that.
Yeah, they don't, and they're rare right now.
They're hella rare, especially in that type of condition. You know, original engine, original everything. Yeah. The only thing we changed on it was some of the water pump stuff, and then the coilovers, because they were squeaking and they were making hella noise, and then we were just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just buy some coilovers. Yeah. But we didn't slam it. Like if you look at it, it's like a little bit lower than stock height. Like you wouldn't be able to tell too much that it's on coilovers. But honestly, that car handles like a dream. You know, we put some nice tires on it, some new rims. He's been driving that thing for like 2-3 years, and he's only like 16.
Our boy Sergio had a car like that at the age of 15.
Gonzalez Cut says he has a 1904 Camry Gold Pack 2-door, and it runs so nice. Engine was taken care of. So yeah, like if people take care of their cars, and you know,
but it's a Toyota.
Yeah,
that's a plus.
That's a plus right there, man.
Plus. Honestly, I was saying my boys and a couple of people I know, the next purchase I want to get, I told you too, like I want a Subaru, and that I've done hella YouTubes. I've seen the pros and the cons, and I'm still like, I want it just because it is so easy to work on. Like from what I seen. But there's some shit that I've also seen that this dude was like, you know, like modifying it, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna modify mine yet. I'll probably keep it stock for a couple while, good as while.
Subarus like to be stock.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I've known is that they like to be stock.
Yeah, because this dude was like, oh, I try to not, you know, mod it up, and you know he did everything, and he modded everything up except for his transmission. And one day, and he was like, what the fuck? And then they're like, yeah, since you're running more power, your transmission disc overheat and just breaks. So now you gotta. And I was like, what the fuck? But I was like, but these dudes, like, Subaru's another one that I kind of like.
Let me go down. My brother, my, because I have 3 brothers. I have 2 brothers. I have more brothers, but my immediate brothers, like, I have my younger brother that was saying that was 16. His car is the 240 SX, and then I have a middle brother. He has a 1976 BMW 2002. He took out the engine. He's gonna fix it up supposedly, but it's just sitting there. You gotta hurry up. And he just bought a Subaru, a newer Subaru.
Okay.
It's a manual and everything, but he was smart with it because he got pretty much like in engine wise, he got like the basic one because it's not like a turbo one or nothing like that. It's just an all-wheel drive, like, you know, crossover thing.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool because he's having a baby, so it's like that makes sense, you know. Like, cool, you save on gas and everything. Yeah. But my thing with Subarus is that they only like Subaru stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
Like that's if something goes wrong with your Subaru, you have to go to either the dealership or you have to get Subaru parts for it. And Subaru parts, they're not
cheap. Yeah. They're not that cheap. Yeah,
and the maintenance on them too, like the way their engines are designed, like they're not like your typical engine where everything is pretty much on the top or the bottom. You know,
it's like the middle.
It's like on the sides.
Yeah. What I love too though is that I have seen their maintenance is easy to do. Their oil change because the oil filter is right on top, which is good.
I like oil stuff.
Oil stuff is easy,
but like, you're right. But I always think like major maintenance.
Yeah. Everything's like deep in there.
Yeah, it's usually you drop the engine or whatever.
Yeah,
but I can see like they're good. They're good cars. One of my cousins, he had an Outback, and that thing had like almost 200, maybe more than 200,000 miles, and it was enough. It had enough to keep going. You know, like, but those like for me, a Subaru is more like a car you don't want to modify and that you don't want to really beat on.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Hard, you know. And I'm the kind of person that I like to. I thrash on it. Like, there's only like 2 modes for me. You know, like I'm cruising like an 80-year-old grandpa. You know, or I'm foot to the floor. Like there's a rare in between. You know, like I'm just trying to have a little fun, but. Because I know how expensive these things could get, you know. I've broken axles, drive shafts. I've broken a lot of shit, you know, blown up engines. So.
On your 240 or?
On my BMW. Even my 240, you know, right now it's probably the best version that it's ever been. Like, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do everything. So I dropped everything. I dropped the rear end, the suspension, and I just went through every single nut and bolt that I could. And I was like, I don't want this thing to break for a long time. I'm gonna do it right. That was actually the first engine that I actually built from the inside out. Because I've built parts of the engines before, but I've never actually took it completely apart. Everything. I'm talking rings, everything. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do this. Found the block that I wanted because I wanted to go turbo.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need something to hold it up. So bought everything. ARP. I don't even know how much I spent. Like, I don't even like to think about how much money I spent on this type of things. But I know I spent a reasonable amount. Like, I was also not trying to go way too overboard because I knew like in reality, the type of engine that I was building, I wasn't trying to go for crazy numbers, but I was trying to go for enough where I can have fun and still be reliable.
Yeah.
And I think I achieved that. Like, I never really ran the numbers, like, but it gets expensive, you know. And it's been reliable. Like, I've probably driven it for like 2-3 years on that built engine. And actually, I haven't even, because like I'm pretty sure you heard of tunes before. Like the tune that it has right now is like a basic tune. It's like level 1 tune that for that engine, and I could probably bring it up a lot more. But since it was a fresh engine, you know, I was still trying to figure out things. I was like, I don't want to push it to its full yet. I was like, you know what? Let me just test drive it like this, break it in, make sure everything is running right, fixed it, and sure enough, yeah, there was some things that were wrong. I wanted to change this, change that. And now I'm to a point where I'm like, okay, I think I found all the gremlins. Like, so my plan now for that car is like pretty much take everything off again. The good thing is that I know, like, I've already been there before, so it's like, okay, I know where everything goes again. Like, you're not like looking at this boat like, where?
Like, where the place you come from, man? You remember,
So all I've been doing for like the past year is just fucking finding all the little body parts, like all the metal like body like pretty, because that's the major stuff that it needs right now.
Yeah.
And just collecting it. It's you know, being on either like Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, and just, you know, finding little pieces by little pieces and just accumulating it, and then eventually. I like right now I've been sanding it down. Like, I want to see where all the major stuff is. But like that car I do want to keep forever. I want to have that thing with me, like, and it's not like a crazy fast car or nothing like that. Like, it's not like blow off the doors off everything, but it's enough to have fun, you know? And it's an old car, so like, you know, one thing that I started to realize too, like being into cars and stuff, like, you know, you're young and you don't think about safety, you know, like you get into your brand new car, you know, it's got airbags, it's got a nice seatbelt, bro. Like, you get into an old car like this, dude.
Oh yeah, it's all metal. It's all, you know.
It's you know, it's you and the floor pretty much. Like, it's nothing. There's nothing to protect you. Literally, if some you know, dumb person decides to T-bone you, like, my door is probably like no thicker than this, you know, like
you're gonna feel that impact for sure.
Yeah, so I do see it now more as just my fun car. Like, as back then I used to see it like, oh, maybe it has the potential to be like an actual daily driver or something like that. Nah, now I'm just like, you know what, I want to fix it up, you know, put a nice cage in it, and then like, I do.
For people that don't know what a cage is like to make sure that if your car rolls over, that cage is meant for your car not to squish you while it rolls over. So it's a super safety precaution if you ever work on cars or do anything like that, to have, like, to any youngsters out there that want to buy, you know, like your first whip, and you're like thinking of not going extra expensive but you want to have fun, just get a roll cage.
Roll cage, that, and if you plan on taking your car to like racetracks or any type of high speed activities in general, you know, like I feel like once you start hitting that threshold over 100 miles an hour, you're really putting your life on the line.
Yeah.
And as fun as it may be and everything, like, you got to start weighing the consequences at one point, you know, like, and other people too. Yeah. Like, I know when I was younger, like I might have done like really questionable stuff on the street, but now I really think about it. And if I do want to have fun like that on the street, I try to find a spot where I know there's not gonna be people around and stuff.
That's why I be getting hella mad when I hear it. Like it's, you seen my street's fucked.
But we seen.
Yeah. Like, dude, I hate my street, and dude, there's motherfuckers driving. And I always, like, when I'm getting on my work, whatever, and I see that, I'm always mugged the fuck up, because I'm like, what is going through your head to go smash, 40 and 50 through the streets? Like, I don't know if you heard what happened a while back about some dude, like, was driving pretty fast, and, like, a little toddler came out, and he lo pegó, and then he just kept driving, and that toddler came out to be, dead.
Damn.
And then, like, they ended up finding that.
Is this the one that happened in 23rd Street?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They ended up finding him, and I don't know what happened to him, but, the family was obviously devastated because it was only, like, I think the kid was only, like, 3 or 4 years old at the time. So it's like, I don't want that on my conscience. Like,
that, yeah, you don't want any of that.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, like, it honestly shouldn't happen in a way, like.
Mm-hmm.
People think like, oh, I have the reaction, I could stop, or I could swerve out the way, like, yeah, you might think that, and you might be able to do it, but your car might not be able to do it, like, guess what? Those $50 tires that you just bought, they're pieces of shit, like people like.
No, that's true.
People have too much confidence in this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And
overconfident and shit.
Way overconfident. And honestly, like, this is gonna bring me into like the whole like sideshow topic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have too much against sideshows. The only thing that I have against sideshows is that it's starting to make it really bad for a lot of us. Like, in the sense that now cops are starting to look at your car a lot more like vigorously. Yeah, like what's going on, and a lot of videos are starting to pop up, like people getting smacked, people running away, whatever the deal may be, like smacking their cars.
That's why California's rules against cars is so fucking. Out of all the whole United States, California's laws on cars is so fucking stupid for us.
Strict,
like super strict, and for anybody who sees this out of this California state, honestly, I feel like California. We just go wild you're right, when it comes to sideshows, when it comes to showing off the cars, like there's a lot of car guys.
It's a crazy balance, because if you think about it, like California, we have a really big car culture, like fucking huge car culture. Everything. If you want to talk JDM, lowriders, tus trocas, whatever. We got everything.
That's true. That's true.
Dude. It goes everywhere, all aspects.
But at the same time, we do have a lot of laws against us. Like, way more, way more. And that's one reason I'm gonna keep my Z, because it avoids that. Like, for those that don't know, anything that's below the year 75 in California, you don't have to comply with smog. Yeah. So that means you could do whatever pretty much you want to your car. But, like, not really, because you still, like, supposedly, you still have to pass visuals. But, it's just like a gray area. But that type of, like, activity, like, sideshows and stuff, like, I feel like there's, like, a missed opportunity in a way. Like, there's a lot of kids that want to have some fun, they want to have some fun with their cars and stuff. That's fine, that's understandable. But a lot of these dudes, like, they're getting a fresh car and they think they have bars, and they're running into people and all that stuff. Like go find yourself an empty ass parking lot somewhere.
Get to know your car very well.
Get to know your car yourself. And I know it's a different mindset. You're in front of a bunch of people. You're like, I could do this. Whatever. How many videos have we seen? Fucking G35s, Mustangs, or whatever you want. Just fucking smacking stuff.
Yeah.
And there you can go, like, we got the Sonoma Raceway, you know, you can go there and have some fun. And honestly, I feel like there should be more places like that. Like, there's, we got pretty much like Sonoma all the way almost to LA. No, actually, I think Laguna Seca is probably like between Laguna Seca and like Sonoma Raceway. I don't know too many racetracks in between. And
I don't even know about Sonoma, to be honest with you.
So, well, Sonoma, you should go. Anybody like Sonoma is, they got a lot. They have everything. Yeah. They have drift nights, drag, everything. Shit. You know.
I had a neighbor that used to go to Sacramento.
Oh yeah.
He had a Supra.
Yeah.
I don't really know that much about cars, but I just know it's cool because every time someone like dropped me off or came over,
and I think he sold it too.
Yeah. And what he told me too, he had a Honda hatchback that had like a different kind of like a jet engine or something like that. He was telling me it was over like $10,000. He spent money.
He spent. It's crazy because you would see this guy at a market or something, and you wouldn't think twice that this guy was a car guy. You wouldn't acknowledge he was a car guy until you would see him get in this fucking Supra, bro. And it's crazy because he would you know. And I remember one time he came up when I had my Thunderbird. He came up and he was like, "Oh, so you drive this car now? Like, how you like it?" He's like, "I see these type of cars a lot in the drag races. Are you thinking of?" And I was like, "Honestly, no, I'm not thinking of doing that. I'm just gonna keep it how it is. I'm not trying to spend, put more money into this. I already did the radiator, and I don't want to fuck with it." But that dude was crazy. But you're right. And that's all. I think also. I've seen videos. This dude driving a Hellcat, just driving it, and a cop pulls him over because he thought he had like illegal shit in his car, and the dude was like, "No, I don't have nothing illegal. It's a Hellcat. I can't do nothing." "Yeah, I know it sounds loud." And he's like, "Well, it sounds too loud. You know the rules that we have. Like, your car can't be whatever." And he's like, "Well, I'm telling you, this is all stocks. Yeah. I didn't do shit. It's a Hellcat. Like, if you know your cars, a Hellcat is just any car that's a 5.0 and up is gonna sound loud as fuck, just organically." So then the cop was like, "Well, now I can give you a citation because you can't keep it that loud." And that's what's so fucked.
I also seen that this one guy that hella random too. Just my recommendations. He was driving like a Fast and the Furious car, like from the first or second movie, and he got pulled over for the same thing because he thought like, oh, that it wasn't stock or whatever, something like that. So I seen that a lot. That happens, that they be getting pulled over because the car just sounds too good, or they're probably jealous that they don't have a car like that.
Yeah, dude, that's what I mean. The rules here is just so stupid, bro.
That, and also like when I had my BMW, that thing was stock. The only thing I did was change the transmission, but obviously they weren't, they couldn't tell, unless they run like the VIN and they really try to check, but it's rare when I get pulled over. It's really rare when I get pulled over. And like I drive my 240Z, like, and I do get looks from the cops and stuff, but if you're not doing anything stupid or whatever, like, you'll be fine. Same thing with my Supra. Like,
oh yeah, you have a really nice Supra, dude. He has what year is it again? Like,
it's a 90. It's a 90 Supra, but
I was about to say 80, bro.
But that thing has a 2JZ in it, so
yeah. And
like nice. you could get in trouble really fast with that thing. So it's like, I have to fight my demons with it.
Is it the one in the video?
No, the one in the video is the 240Z.
Oh, okay, we'll show that later.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, out of those two cars, like, even though the fucking Supra, like, aesthetically, it's more pleasing because it's like freshly painted and it has a full interior and everything.
Yeah.
But all that aside, like, I would still keep my 240. Like, that's my baby. Like,
yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Like, I would sell my.
That's just gonna be a one of a kind. Like, I was just talking this about my uncles, and they were saying that, distributors now, car distributors, they want to make most of their cars automatic. And my uncles are like, fuck automatic. I'd rather go with the manual. Manual just feels more alive, and you're in control of your own car. And I told them, like, yeah, that's true. And I also heard, like, this new generation that's, like, my little brother, he's, 8. By the time he goes up to get a car, by then, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be mostly automatic.
It's only gonna be automatic.
Yes, and I want my manual before then, like for sure.
Yeah, but there's a good reason for that supposedly, because from what I've been looking at and reading is that a lot of people that are buying new cars, they're not buying manual cars. It's a very, 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 very small percentage. Like very small. Yeah. And there's not enough profit in that, you know. Like the only cars that I think that are like the manufacturers is probably BMW, which like applause to them because Mercedes is not doing it anymore. Toyota, from what I know, I think they have a few still. Few. Maybe like
probably like their Tundras, the Tundras and shit. Like
no, the Tundras are all automatic now. I think no, there's one the Yaris. The Yaris is like a Yaris, and we didn't even get it here. It's a Yaris GR.
Yeah, so it's like what the fuck that is, dude.
Yeah,
I noticed the Yaris 4-door, but we're talking about yours. It's a 4-door, right? Or no?
The one that they have is a 2-door.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a homologation thing. That
what?
So we don't get a lot of special cars here. But one car that we hopefully are gonna get is the new Z.
Oh, I did see that.
So that new Z is supposed to be manual. It's supposed to be manual.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure everybody saw the whole new Supra thing being a BMW and blah blah blah.
Pretty much.
But okay, so technically, the new Supra underneath is a BMW.
Yeah.
And I think I don't have a big problem with that because they pretty much kept the recipe the same. Yeah. Like straight 6 turbo with rear wheel drive, 2-door. Yeah. Okay, cool. You kept the recipe. Yeah. But how? But why why did you guys only put an automatic in it? Like, why? Like, obviously, this is an enthusiast car.
Yeah.
Like,
whoever was just a fan of the Supra.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh shit, a Supra. Yeah. If you could look over it being a BMW underneath.
Yeah.
At least look at it for a fun car, you know, like, and in that sense, they really dropped the ball. That's why I'm looking like. I prefer a straight 6 than a V6. That's both my favorite cars are straight 6s. Yep. And that's because of the sound. I love the sound of a straight 6 turbo, like, you know, GTRs, Supras, anything. Like that's like I grew up watching Fast and the Furious, so I was just like,
hell yeah,
that's like my bread and butter.
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
Yeah. R.I.P. for sure. And the new Z, like, it's like nowadays you can't have the best of everything anymore. Like, you have to compromise. Dude. So the new Z is gonna have a V6 turbocharged, but it's gonna have a manual. You know, so that it has that going for it. And I'm hoping that when it comes out, like I'm actually gonna see if I could even go a test drive one when it comes out, because if you could support something like that, that means they're gonna keep making it.
Exactly.
If nobody's buying this, they're not gonna be making it anymore. Like, it's gonna be, and honestly, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be gone. Like, by the time, like, at least in like 5-10 years, it's not gonna exist anymore.
It's gonna stop again.
All that stuff is gonna be gone. Combustion engines, everything's gonna be a hybrid and whatnot. And it's like all our old cars, like, they're just gonna be like dinosaurs, you know?
Oh, like, yeah. Honestly, yeah, dude. My little brother, when I'll never forget this. The first time I put my little brother in my Thunderbird, and my parents got a new Ford Explorer. He was like, "How come your car doesn't have a screen on it? You know, how come your car, when you go back, it doesn't show you what's behind?" And I looked at my little brother and I was like, "Cause my car's unique, all right? My car's one of a kind." But dude, this younger generation, like, I feel like that's what connects to our past and our history, or is our cars, because what's in them is just like, it's throwing us back to the past of how they would, like, dude. There's this guy. He found a super rare car. It was a Cadillac, 50-something Cadillac or 60-something Cadillac limousine, and this limousine, super ahead of its time. Power windows in the 60s. Power windows, AC, and his whole seat will move forward or backwards. The AC he had to put this special type of coolant in it, and when you open the doors, the lights will show on the bottom, like it'll light the bottom, so people know like how to get into the car, and it had like a divider that it was, you know, powered to, not road, and it was just in the 60s, dude. So it's like people that would go in that car would think like, damn, this car was made in the 90s and shit. Like, nah. And that's what's wild to me, that the power windows and shit were thought about way back then.
Yeah, and Cadillac specifically, like, Cadillac had their peak during that time too. Like, Cadillac at one point, I feel like, was almost taking on like Rolls Royce and those type of companies.
Oh, hell
you know?
yeah.
And the thing that sucks is that like some of these companies, they get too stuck on their like the people that they're trying to sell cars to, like rich old men. That's kind of like, everybody thinks of Cadillac. That's kind of the ballpark that they go for. Yeah. But it came around and it bit them. You know, 90s and the 2000s, like their cars were pretty much based on Chevys. Like they lose that specialness. Like, you gotta move with the times. You know, like,
yeah, for sure.
They were ahead of it. They were ahead of this. You know, they were ahead of their time. But you know, they got too caught up in that, and you know, all these new cars, you know, like Mercedes and BMW, you're like, yeah, it's nice, you got all that cool stuff, but guess what? We got 500 horsepower. Yeah. You know, guess what? You know, like, we could do this in a convertible. Guess what? Like you gotta see what people actually like. I think that's why Tesla right now is just blowing up.
Yeah,
know?
Dude, fuck yeah. And somebody just came out saying that, hey, you love long road trips? Well, guess what? If you get a Tesla, it's like it can't do long road trips. I think they can only go exactly. I think the most they can do without charges is like 5 or 6 hours. I think something like that. So people,
which is, if you think about it, for a normal commute, that's way more than reasonable.
Exactly, cool. You know, but if you want to go, you know, far with it, you can't. And then this dude had me cracking up. There's a video of him. He put a fucking generator in his Tesla because he wanted to travel, and then he put gas tanks in the trunk of his car next to the generator, so that if his car would stay stuck, he'll put gas in the generator, start it up, and then recharge it, which is smart. But it's like, that's a bitch,
because you still gotta carry that.
Because you gotta carry it, and then you gotta be parked for a cool minute while it charges. Just, you know,
it's like the technology has to catch up to it.
Yeah.
In this case, it's the batteries.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that's true.
And right now, Tesla has the best batteries. Like, hands down. The car manufacturers cannot compete with Tesla batteries right now.
Prius.
They can't. And I feel like the future, like the future of hot rodding is gonna be that. It's gonna be batteries and motors, like those electric motors. It just takes time, you know, like. And right now, we have to mine and it's expensive. It's really expensive because everything we use takes batteries. Dude, who doesn't have a cell phone? You know, like laptops and all that stuff. Like,
so that's why solar's gonna be really huge in the future too.
Solar, but even if you do have solar, you still need something to store it in, which would be batteries. Like, batteries are really like the thing that are holding us back. Once batteries, or if we find something better than batteries, those electric engines can put up so much more power than a regular engine can, and in much smaller space. Like, you know, if you want 500 horsepower or foot-pound of torque, an electric engine can do that so reliably for so long, for so little maintenance. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's almost gonna be like, it's gonna be the obvious choice. You know, like, you want to have fun, you know, just slap an electric motor in your thing. You know, like, you don't have to do oil changes on it. Like, what the fuck is that? In the future, it's gonna be like, you only have a combustion engine just because of the sound, or just be, you know, just like a record player, you know, you just want to have
timing is off or something.
for the memories, like you say, it throws you back. You know, like that's the only reason it's gonna exist. Because reliability wise, like electric is just gonna take it all. It's just gonna take it. And it's sad because as a car guy, you don't, like, I don't really want to see that, but like as a human, like I know that it has to happen. It has to. Like electricity, like we're not gonna be fighting wars going over countries for electricity. Like,
like oil just, and shit.
Like it just makes more sense. Like, okay, it's gonna happen. Just go with it. Like, it's not.
Like I don't know if you heard. I think it's somewhere in Europe they've legalized like no more selling motor vehicles. They're all selling just electric vehicles. And Audi was one of the because Audi's big out there. Audi's like what is huge out here to us, like Toyota and shit, and easy car like Honda. Like to them over there is an Audi is a Honda. Like easy to get. That's what they mostly drive. And what I heard is that Audi was like, we're gonna stop the distributing motors and we're gonna go electrical as well. And then they made a law like, okay, starting this year, everybody better have an electric car. Like something about taxes too, like they'll help out, like they'll get money back for just even
that's kind of funny too,
and bro, like I don't know if you've seen that too. Like I feel like we're talking about this, like our government here is probably the worst of the worst. And because I sent Martin a video of, I don't know if you know this, but if you live in Italy and you work in Italy and you're a citizen in Italy, your job provides you with a card. And this card that they give you allows you to buy lunch. Not only lunch, but food for your house. And then on top of that, they get free health insurance. And it's like, I'm like, damn, they have a fucking. I feel like I might fucking go over there and live over there, It's like some shit like that. But that makes sense why, I don't know if you know this, but most of the people that live in Italy live like hella longer. Only because they eat organically, health free, health is free out there and hella shit.
And they got the best lifespan.
So it's like wild out there.
But it's fucked up because if you think about it, like a lot of countries, especially us, we have the we have the potential for that.
Hell yeah, we do.
But obviously everybody knows our government is kind of fucking for themselves and everything. So it's like it's up to us to kind of like try to change that. And like we're getting to the point where it's starting to like tip over. Like we're starting to see the cracks kind of crumble, and it sucks because like we're starting to pay the price for it. Like. You're starting to see a lot of places like they don't have the right type of water source. Right. They don't have like.
And that's been going on. Flint.
Like that's just an example too. That's a big example. But
and people are like today, they kind of forget and then forget and they kind of remember. It's like, dude, these people haven't had water, clean water.
And this is this is a city in the United States on 2021. Like we got everything in the world, but we can't give our people clean water. Like, come on, man.
And plus, today, if you know that your pipes are galvanized, don't drink water. Even if you have filter, if your pipes are galvanized, don't do it. Because that filter water is not gonna do much. Trust me.
Even here, like I trust my pipes, but at the same time, I do not drink the water that comes out of that faucet. Or any faucet at all. Any faucet. Don't. As a kid, I used to. Hell yeah, I'd be like thirsty outside.
Or whatever.
I got la manguera,
Same.
But now it's like, I don't know, bro. Like this stuff is getting old,
Yes, dude. Little back history, but when I worked at this plumbing company, and I cut my first galvanized water line. And my supervisor that taught me plumbing, he was like, look inside of it. And I looked, bruh, hella rust, hella yellow, nasty shit. And he's like, a lot of people don't know, but that's how their water comes through. And they'll put it in a cup, thinking, I can just drink it out of the tap and just start chugging it. He's like, I'm going to tell you right now, never, ever drink out of your tap, no matter what. He's like, copper, yeah, it's a little safer, but... Same thing with copper. Copper turns green over time. that little bacteria can fuck you up over time. Mm-hmm. So they were like, these filter shit. Nah. Yeah.
And it sucks because it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
You know, everybody's paying their taxes. Like, you fucking pay your taxes when you work on your paycheck. You pay your taxes on your property. You pay your taxes on your car. You pay your taxes when you fucking park on the street. When you pay for your food. Like, you're paying all this shit, bro. And it's like okay, we're paying all this stuff. You're taking like 20 whatever % of everything I make. Like, where's it going? You know, like this country that is so wonderful and everything. You know, like it kind of sucks because it's like, bro, like you wish you could do something about it and you want to and you can in the way of voting.
Yeah.
But it just like it feels so slow, you know, like, and so sluggish and so like like bot. You know, damn, like no matter how much we want to put in work in this, and no matter how much we want to say about this, that's one reason like the oil companies have won. You know, Richmond, the Oilers, fucking the refinery. You know, like how many politicians have they bought? You know, like how many oil spills have they gotten? You know, like it's just
it's been going on for a minute.
There's no way around it. It sucks because it feels like there's no way around it. But honestly, like. I'm starting to see the light at the end because like social media, people like actually starting to see the stuff and like and put the connect the dots. Like it's starting to really get bigger. You know, and they're not gonna be able to hide this for too much longer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like
so here's also I don't know if you're much about TikTok, if you know a lot about it, but I don't know if you heard that they wanted to ban it here in the United States, but the only reason why they wanted to ban it is because when it got released in China and in that area first. That's where
isn't it from China?
Yeah.
It's China owned.
So what happened is that in China they have a lot of like people who are up against their government because their government is trying to control them, how much internet they can use, what they can search up, and what they can talk about. If they talk about certain, like, I think they're not allowed to go on Facebook or have Facebook over there or some shit like that. Or I think
you know what it is, like because I was watching this documentary on Frontline. I think it's from PBS. They judge you by your credit score. If you have a good credit score, because they know everything. If you have a good credit score, they're like, oh yeah, let them in, give them this and that. But if you even have bad, you could be a good person, but you have a shitty credit score, they're gonna be like, oh no, we can't trust this person and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they go off stuff like that, and then like all like their sidewalks have like cameras that they just see your face, they scan it, they know who you are, they know your credit score, boom. If you've been to jail, if you've done bad and stuff like that. So that's really and you can't be there's a Muslim camp too for like people there too. So
wow,
that's pretty fucked up. Man.
Yeah. So they tried to ban it here because over there they were connected so tight through TikTok. They were like, oh, this is going on, spread the word. Spread like wildfire. So the U.S. is like, fuck, we can't have that here, but I don't know who bought them.
But they also banned that phone that they had.
Oracle bought them.
They used to have this phone that Huawei, something like that.
Yeah, Huawei.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that one. They banned it from selling it. You can't buy it off Best Buy or like a retail store. You can only get it off Amazon. Because back then you were able to get it like at the Metro PCS store or whatever. But now you can't get it because supposedly like. Once you turn it on with your SIM card, they already know your location and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Tracking you.
Yeah. and sorry. Quick story. Yeah, quick. But so, my point is like, dude, that shit is getting us so connected here. There's a short story. Some dude was walking in New York through a park, heard a couple of friends talk shit about another friend, how to throw a party just because that specific person was not gonna be there that weekend. So like, let's throw a party that weekend. So that guy heard and was like, hey, TikTok, help me find this person because her friends are fake. They're over here talking about having a party without her. That's fucking fake as fuck. Next thing you know, bro, boom, he found her. She was like, I think it's me. Where'd you see them at? And next thing you know, she messaged her friend. It was her. And that's what I mean. Like, dude, I feel like the social networking is bound to get us more closer, and communication wise.
Yeah,
and business wise too, like you said.
And it's fucked up because like people are like, oh, like these networks are like they're starting to show a lot of people's really fucked up, emotions, but in the same way, they're starting to show a lot of people's actual like actual wanting, like
true colors, pretty much.
True colors, and whether that's good or bad, like it's about to happen, like people are gonna learn the lesson regardless, But like, I have benefited so much off all of this, whether it's fucking TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or whatever you want to like even just being able to see my friends post pictures, like of their stuff and everything, like I understand, like in the sense, like, yeah, you gotta step away from it sometimes, because we gotta remember, like, okay, and I grew up I grew up not having any of this. We're in a weird category, because I'm literally stuck in two different categories where like my mom didn't have nothing her whole life that resembles this. And then I have my little brother that he's had this since he's grown up, like since he was a little kid. But I'm like stuck right in the middle, I didn't have my first cell phone until I was like 17 years old. And even then, when I had my first cell phone, like, it wasn't like this, like, it was just like text and call. Call after 7 or 9, like.
Ringtones were like 50 cents, 10 cents. Rollover minutes. Like, call me after fucking 7, 8 when the minutes are free.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, now I see people talking about, like, oh, I don't like when people call me and stuff. Like, man, I remember back in the day when somebody was calling me, I was like, what's good? You got a phone?
Like, oh, my ringtone I just paid 10 cents for it is ringing right now. Like, what's good?
And like, we're stuck in this weird thing, like, okay. And it's so fresh that all that bad stuff has to come out first. It has to. Like, because we don't know it exists until it comes out, like, and it's fucked up because a lot of these companies, they're getting money off of this. Like Facebook is getting stupid amount of money off us using them. Instagram too. Now Facebook owns Instagram. It's just like, and it sucks because like we're not we're using the benefits off of it, but at the same time, like we're not. They're not trying to help us specifically. They're trying to help their bottom line, which is money. And it sucks because. Capitalism, I have some stuff against capitalism, but it sucks because that has to be the bottom line, like money. Like when it comes to that, there's a lot of dirty shit that's done. And that's where like the whole China and Huawei thing comes into, because they want to be, I'm assuming, just like the United States, they want to be like one of the most powerful countries. How do you become one of the most powerful countries with fucking money? How much are you worth? How much are you worth? And it just becomes this fucking battle, like who can hog up the most money, and it's like, and the ones that we lose are us, the people that don't have water, the people that don't have like, it right now it's like this weird. I feel like, oh my god, like when I was younger, I would think the future would be a little bit more past this. But at the same time, like, I see why it's happening. Like, oh, fuck, like, yeah, they want to cut down on our gas vehicles. It makes sense, But honestly, I feel like they should have done that kind of a long time ago, This should have been a subject that should have been way past, But there's people that need the money, people that are profiting off those gas stations, or like
all this fucking.
There's this good quote. Back to the Facebook and Instagram we were talking about, what says, we thought we were searching Google, but Google was searching us. So as like getting our data and shit like that,
And they still are. And they're not gonna, they're too big now. Like, you can't just shut off Google. Like, they got the map of the world now. Like, what the fuck,
And then, there's just a lot of shit. Like you said, these big corporates are just, they're always gonna stay fucking this shit.
There's Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he says for him the future is to make highways for self-driving cars.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in the future it's gonna be the safer option.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's gonna save hella lives. And then Joe Rogan asked, what's gonna happen to like like the ones you can drive, like what he's like, oh, it's easy. They're just gonna build them like their own like little like places that they can drive. Same thing like in the past when. You know how back then horses were the way you get to go to whatever. Yeah. So now horses have their own thing. You know, if you want to ride a horse, you'll go to that place to ride a horse. Yeah. That will be the same thing if you want to drive a Mustang or something you go whatever. Yeah. You'll go there. But then in the future, we'll have the self-driving freeways.
But I think that future's like a little bit farther out.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. But that's what you know.
It's like what? That's like
maybe when we're like 50, that's probably gonna be the case.
I think we'll still probably see it, but that it's gonna be definitely in our lifespan.
It's gonna be weird, probably. You know, like. We'll probably be like 40, 50 years old, and we'll be driving down the street, and then you see that lone Mustang or something. Like, what damn, what the fuck? Like back in, and it's crazy because that's when people will come up to me. That's one thing I do like about driving an old car. Like you could see it, in their eyes when they're talking to you. That nostalgia, like man, when I used to have one of these in high school.
Sheesh.
I drove my first.
That's cool, dude. That's really cool.
And it's like, dude, this guy's talking to me about high school. This guy's like 67 years old. Like, it's like, dude, I've only had this car for like 4 years, but it's like, it's bringing, like you said again, like it brings you back, and that's why I want to. That's why I want to keep it, because I want to pass it down. I want to pass it down to my kids, and maybe their kids too, if it can get that far, and and it's like, things change, and things get better, obviously. But at the same time, it's like we used to have all this stuff, where it kind of came from. And especially something that you built, it's a little bit more special. Like, that you put your time into, and you fucking busted your knuckles to. I think right now would be a good time if you want to play that video.
Oh, let's do it. I had a question though.
Let me take a bathroom break real quick.
All right, let me ask you this question. So I wouldn't know this, but you know how you say you want to keep your car for years and years like that? What happens when let's say you're not using it that much? Do people usually like store it, just leave it in their garages? Because I know like the city, like if they see a car that's always stays there, don't they like charge them or shit like that?
So there's a few things you can do. If you have a garage, if you're lucky enough to have a garage,
like
you
a pretty big one,
throw it in there.
Right.
And then, you go to the registration and you put it on non-op. So you pay that non-op fee, I believe. I've never put a car in non-op, but
I know what you're talking about, because they ask you that when you when you get your registration and your fee and stuff like that, like a non-operating vehicle, right?
Yeah. So pretty much. But I think for a non-op vehicle, it does have to be off the street. You can't park it. You can't park it on the sidewalk or something like that.
Okay.
And so you have to have it in a property somehow.
Right. Oh, okay, makes sense.
And so my car, the good thing with my car is that since it's a pre-smog car, I don't have to smog it every 2 years like a regular car.
You were saying that, yeah. Exactly.
So that's a big benefit out of it. Like,
right.
A lot of people don't want to keep cars because they have to do that. I don't mind paying the $100 every 2 years.
That's what I was saying. Like, a friend, because like he's like, no, I want to get rid of the cars because then you have to pay more. But I'm like, if you really love this fucking car, obviously everyone has a different feeling. But yeah,
So it all depends. Like if I have the means for it, I'll just pay the registration every 2 years.
Exactly,
like I don't want to deal with trying to re-register it or going to the DMV. Like fuck, I'll just
wait. But this will be like your car being in your garage, that you're never gonna like take it out for a drive or anything like that. Or
if it's not up.
Okay.
If it's not up.
All right.
So, but right now it's insured and I pay the registration on it, so it's okay. I'm not too tripping off of it, and I plan to keep doing it because I do take it out once in a while.
Right.
Not as much because I've concentrated more on just working on it than enjoying it and just driving it, because I know the day will come where I get to enjoy it. But honestly, $100 every 2 years, California, take my money.
Yeah, exactly. If you love it,
Right. There she is.
Let's look at this.
Shout out Jesus for the fucking music.
For real. You gotta be on the pod soon, Jesus. Hopefully.
So yeah, this is pretty much the process. That's the first engine.
Oh, so you
see that smoke?
Yeah.
That's me burning the rings. And that's when this is where all the money started to kind of flow in. So that's the turbo right there.
Nice. Gee, bro.
And then this is what controls the turbo, which is pretty much the wastegate. It is a wastegate. And this is pretty much all race car shit that you're going to see coming up. So every one of those springs has a different level of pressure yeah.
Oh, fuck. Damn, bro.
So yeah.
You swapped out the engines?
So the engine is pretty much... So the Z, they made that same engine for like 10 years. Maybe a little bit less.
Did you have to weld some shit?
So that's the only thing I didn't do was the fabrication. I had a guy out in San Leandro help me with that. But everything else, like that was all me.
Oh, fuck.
That's the rear end too that I upgraded. That's the head for it. Dude, I'm telling you, this is the first engine that I actually...
Holy fuck, bro.
Every single bolt. From the inside out.
You beat me. I only did like the basic shit.
Nah, it's because I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this...
Yeah, you're going to do it big. Yeah, that's fucking clean.
I even ordered some parts from Japan. Like... Dude, one thing I love about Japan is that they keep making parts in such high quality, dude. Like,
make sure it'll last.
It's really unbeatable.
What's that right there?
That's the exhaust manifold. Oh, that's the book that came with my car. That was literally in my car, and it literally has everything to fix every single little part in it, dude. So that
manual and shit.
Yeah, that book helped me out a lot. Torque specs and everything. It's all important. Like how to time it, you know.
Oh, fuck. Oh, damn, bro. You painted it and everything? Or
everything. Fucking upgraded clutch. It's funny because the car is actually, like, from the outside, if you look at it, it's hella raggedy. But once you open up the hood, dude, it's like a brand new ass
top
engine.
tier.
That's a 6-putt clutch right there.
That looks fucking clean. Damn. Yeah, holy shit.
Look at all the beers in the back. You know, we're putting in work.
Damn.
That's the intercooler. Dude, it's a trip building a whole car like that. But it's cool because in that car I felt like I had the freedom since it's not, you know, it doesn't have to go through all the regulations in California.
Yeah.
I feel like I could actually do all this type of stuff.
I know that's carbon fiber.
Yes, sir. That's kind of how it finished it up. Like if you open up the hood, that's what it looks like, man. I just changed the boy Jesus right there.
Yeah. Damn, by Hippo's house.
So that's when I was first breaking it in too. I was so juiced, man. I was like, this is the first engine and it's working. I drove it to San Jose. I drove it to Santa Cruz, San Francisco, everywhere, dude.
That is
alive and well.
Look at that, dude. That's what I love. The fucking you put that gauge in yourself, and that's
just that one, yeah. All the other ones are stock.
Yeah.
This is my friend too. He has a 240Z, and he was like, "Bro, I want to see your car."
Damn, bro. Was that Alameda Tunnel?
Yup.
Man, bro.
And it's funny because I never get to see my car from the outside, so I get a blast watching the videos from the outside. Even though I love driving the car and being on inside, the view is great, but it was just different seeing it from the outside. That's why when I see another Datsun on the road, fucking thumbs up and everything, dude. I'm juiced.
Yeah. Keep it live. Jeez, bro.
And this car is only like 2,100 or 200 pounds or something like that. So I don't know. Yeah,
it's not that heavy.
This thing is stupid light. So like 300 horsepower on this car feels like 500 on a newer car, man. And this engine has enough potential for like 500 to 600 horsepower, no problem. This is Richmond.
Yeah.
And don't do this, you guys.
It even sounds clean, dude.
And it's funny because this is not the type of car that you would try to fucking take a road trip in. It's brutal. Like you come out smelling like fucking fuel and like like it's old, dude. Like when you see an old like Impala or something drive by, you can smell it, and everything. That's the same thing with this car. It's the same era.
You're gonna smell the fumes. You can smell that engine, the gas burning, everything. But the thing with these cars that really helps them is that they were kind of ahead of of their time. Yeah. And
especially suspension wise, like it was all independent. And right now there's a lot of companies still making really good parts for these cars. Like, I mean, they cost an arm and a leg.
But they're fucking.
But they're still making them. And this is before I did the wheels and everything. It's so fun, like just building a car and like having fun with it. Shout out my brother for recording that.
For real.
Standing in the middle of the street.
That's some good takes, man.
Yeah. Damn.
And this is where the fun part starts. Like this is when you get to have like, okay, the engine's good. Let me start making it look good.
Yeah.
So those wheels I bought off a friend, but I ended up sending them to a custom wheel shop where I wanted them to my custom specs, which is that right there.
Oh, that's fucking clean.
And then I had to order all those parts from Japan because they're the only ones that fucking have them.
Oh, this is definitely a Jesus beat.
Oh shit.
How long was the wait to get your parts since it was coming from all over there?
Usually like 2 to 3 months.
Damn.
But it was well worth it.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that's how she looks now.
Damn, dude.
Yep.
The GTR.
That's one of my dream cars right there too.
Yeah. Dude, there's this guy that gets them imported, and he sells each one 5 to 10 G's. And they're like Skylines from 90 something and up. Some of them. And then he sells them hella. I think he's like from South Dakota, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the states. And like he sells them. He's straight up. He's like, look, I'm sending this GTR for like 1050 G's. You can come get it, but just so you know, it does run. But there's some things like here and there that's fucked up. But you can come and get it if you want. Mm-hmm. And he buys them import. And that's what's crazy. This dude went to Japan to a junkyard, and he went to and then they're like, yeah, this in Japan is like $600-$700 for a GTR. And it's like, but over here, just those prices fucking triple.
Yeah. But the thing is, too, since the U.S. has that 25-year rule, I don't know if you know about it.
No, I don't think
so. If a car is older than 25 years, it's legal to bring in. It doesn't have to comply with a lot of the stuff.
Oh, what?
But us being California, we still have to comply to the smog rules.
Yeah.
So it has to be completely stock.
Yeah.
It has to comply by whatever regulations of that year or whatever. But it's still possible. So you're going to start seeing a lot of, like, if you look up a lot of these auction sites, for especially, so I think I have so when I was first trying to find a good daily, when I got my Supra, right, I was actually going to bring one from Japan. Because in Japan, the MK3s, they had a 1JZ, which is a really... It's a more reliable engine than we got here, which was the 7M. Like, they were pretty notorious here. But over there, they got the good one. You know, they got the good engine. They get the good everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, I'll pay, you know, the little extra money to bring one out here. And I'll have a reliable daily for a long time. And I started getting into it. And I started to see the bids and everything. And I was like, damn, okay. So they were, at that time, like a nice mint MK3 was selling between $15,000 and $18,000. Like, which for me was not that bad, because when they come with like 60 or 70,000 miles, which is like, for a Toyota, that's barely getting broken into. Yeah. And I was like, cool, like that's totally reasonable. And then you start getting into the laws and stuff, and then once it gets to California, you have to throw in like another 8 to 10,000 just to get it like emissions standards, you know.
That's everything.
Yeah. And I was like, hell no, what? Damn. Like, that is no. That's why like a lot of these skylines and stuff. That's why you see them in the middle, you know, the middle and shit. Or the East Coast. Yeah, because
easier.
It's a lot easier. And I was like, fuck that. One day I was just on Craigslist, and that's when I found my Supra. It was probably posted for like a couple hours. Yep. I saw it, and I was like, dude, that's a mint ass MK3, dude. I was like, and then I started scrolling through the pictures, and I was like, wait, it has a 2JZ? And it's a stick for the same price that I was gonna buy the 1JZ. I was like, oh, I called the dude up. I was like, I'm out there, you know. I was like, as soon as I can go see it? He's like, just come out here tomorrow, you know, blah blah blah. As soon as he pulled it out the garage, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get another chance like this. Nope. Damn. And I told him, I was like, all right, it's good. I'll bring you the money tomorrow. And the story, that's how I ended up with the 2JZ fucking Supra. Because I was looking for a 1JZ, but it ended up being closer to $30,000, and I was like, man, I'm paying $30,000 for that. I'm like, nah, I could put $30,000 into my fucking Z and have it done in like fucking, you know, a couple months, you know. But honestly, that Supra that I've had, it's been reliable, you know, enough to the point where I have AC and I have a radio, you know, like, it gets me from point A to point B, you know.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna take a restroom break.
Oh yeah, actually we're just gonna wrap it up here. So, real quick, peeps. So, obviously, always do what you love to do. Follow your dreams, because obviously, that's what we're all doing, right? And this boy's obviously fucking doing it, and he's fucking still doing it. So, you guys saw his YouTube page. Follow his YouTube page.
We'll link it up in the bio.
We'll link it up in the bio.
And there's a lot of knowledge in this video.
There is a lot of knowledge to youngsters and out there, people who will go automatic. I mean, not automatic. Go manual. Go manual, people.
And if you got automatic, then go fucking manual.
If you automatic, go manual. Anyways, go manual. All right, and have a roll cage just in case. You never know. But yeah, peeps, this is our fucking podcast for today.